Are your photos concert photography? Or are they music photography? Do you know the difference? That's what we're covering today in Mac's Concert Photography, where we cover everything concert and music photography related. I'm Robert Maxfield. I'm a concert and music photographer in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, and I've been one since the late 1970s. And welcome to my channel, where today we're going to talk about concert photography, gig photography, and music photography, and what the difference is. A lot of people have no earthly clue and have no idea, and I tell you what, in certain conversations it pisses people off on the forums to even mention it. So that's what we're going to cover today. Let's start out with a definition. Concert photography. Concert photography is a journalistic historical account of a live event. You're photographing a concert, so everything that you shoot in that concert should be there. There's no removing amplifiers, no removing microphone stands, nothing like that unless it's little minor stuff. And that's the general thing with concert photography. It should go the same exact way with gig photography. I know what you're saying, Bob. I know, but next we're going to discuss what is music photography. So now you're going, hey, what is music photography? Well, music photography is everything else. You can take a photograph at a concert, remove amplifiers, other band members, mic stands, poles, lighting, whatever you want. You can put things in there, smiley face on something. You can do whatever you want. Then it instantly becomes music photography. And there is a difference. But the big deal is both are fine, as long as you realize that both are fine and you're doing one or the other. So where do you find music photography? You find it quite often in album covers, you find it in covers for magazines, you find it in materials, PR material, that kind of sort of thing. And that's absolutely perfectly fine, and that's where it's useful. But there is a difference between concert photography and music photography, and that's the main major difference. Okay, I come from the journalistic side of the house. I also have an art background and an art degree, but as the journalistic side sometimes overrides the artistic side, I think of photography as a document of history, one moment of history in time. And I keep forgetting that one of the original reasons I got into it was artistic expression. And today there are a lot of concert music photographers that are using artistic expression, and unless you understand it, and trust me, I didn't even think about it. I just thought the one way, and that's bad on me, but I did. And it took a couple people on some of the forums to say, hey, this is perfectly fine, I enjoy doing this, and I'm doing this for me. There is something that is good really about it, and there's a lot of people that have a misunderstanding. So like I've said in the past, concert photography over the years has changed quite a bit. Music photography has also changed quite a bit. And you have to be open-minded and adaptable to what's going on now and in the future. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know everything, but I'll be the first to admit when I am wrong and learn from my mistakes. And hopefully I have learned something that I didn't consider or didn't know. So that's one of the reasons why I use the community tab, and I appreciate the feedback and the information that's given to me by the subscribers of this channel, because if you don't know how certain things work, you need to find out, and that's how you do it. So I'm going to go over some of that right now. Okay, when I started concert and music photography, I started in a whole different time frame, and I started out in large arenas and stadiums. Believe it or not, I didn't do the small clubs and the bars and all that stuff. So one of the questions I asked was, what do you prefer? Festivals, concerts, and music in small clubs, tiny clubs, or bars? And believe it or not, nobody said anything about arenas. they didn't even talk about it. So one of the things about I was really surprised is small festivals or festivals was number one, and then tiny clubs and small bars and dives was 2 and 3, and that totally was a shock. I was thinking that a lot of people would actually prefer to be photographing in stadiums and large arenas, but not so much the case. Another thing I found really interesting, I'll tell you, in Dallas-Fort Worth there are over 50 cover and tribute bands in this metroplex, a large amount, and you would think there, from what I've seen, there's a lot of people that they love shooting cover and tribute bands, which I don't do, and the reason why I don't do is in 2 or 3 years nobody's going to remember who they are or where they came from or what they did. So that's my opinion. But there's a lot. They also need PR materials. They have things going on. They're trying. Some of them are trying to write their own materials, and it just depends on the band. But the majority of people said that they loved original artists, which are really right now original artists are struggling, and they like people that played original work as well as covered some material, which is the majority of everybody you see. I saw Mark Chestnut doing some Willie Nelson stuff a couple years ago, so everybody does that, and so that's the two most favorite ones. You want original artists, and you want people that do a little bit of original stuff, and they do some cover stuff. Another question I asked was, how long does it take you to get zoned in when you have 3 songs and it's 3 and out? And some people said that they got it, boom, I'm instantly zoned in. Some said it took 2 songs. Some said they need all the time they could get a hold of. And then some people said, just shoot no matter what through the 3 songs limit, which I don't agree with, but in some cases you can, and people do. But for me, it varies. Sometimes the artist is real easy, and you can catch them in one song. If you're really prepared, you nail them right off the bat. And then sometimes it takes a little bit more time. And then sometimes you're struggling, and you've got an artist that you didn't expect, and they move real fast, or they do certain things on stage, or they have facial expressions which you didn't count on. And sometimes it takes three songs, all 3 songs, or sometimes it takes maybe even a little more. Typically I get out of the media pit area to do that, and I go back to front of house to do it, and shoot from the crowd. In some cases you're not even allowed to do that. I have had places that escort me in, give me my 3 songs, come grab me, escort me to a certain seating place, and make sure I don't touch the camera. Anytime during the rest of the show I can watch the show, but I can't do anything camera related during that time. I asked another question, and this one really concerned me because nobody answered me back. But if you were in the pit and you had a camera failure, a catastrophic failure, what do you do? I carry 2 cameras. I know a lot of people do not, but I carry 2 cameras because redundancy in just such a case of an emergency. I had a front element of a zoom lens fall out onto the ground. Oops. Okay, so that was a problem. I had to go to my backup, and my backup in a hurry. So I had to put the zoom lens away that I had on that one camera away, and go with what I had. And that was an emergency. So when I asked the question, I was really curious if you've had this kind of thing happen to you, what you did, and what are your thoughts on it. Another question was, if I've created a new concert photographer, music photographer's beginner's guide, what would you like to see in it? And I got everything was across the board, and I've been kicking that around, but in general, all the videos that I do are exactly that. The only difference is you don't have it in your hand and you can't hold it. So I'm interested in thoughts if you'd like some kind of material kind of thing that you could download, or whatever that you needed, a hardware, a gear checklist. If you want to see an example of what I use for how to get a media pass, the letters and the correspondence I use, that kind of thing, let me know. because I'm kicking that around, and I'd like to think about providing that kind of stuff.